Good morning and welcome to Operations Management, Kettering University Online. I'd like to be the first to welcome you. And I'd like to make just an introduction video so that way you can put a face with the name and make it a little more personal. So I am Dr. Joseph Wiegraff and I welcome you. And I look forward to spending the next 6 weeks with you to learn about operations management. And I thought I'd just take a little bit of time to just give you a little bit of personal experience because I believe it's a firm belief of mine that one of the better ways of learning, especially as an adult, is learning through each other and sharing the world experiences of what we have in the topic that we're studying. So we're going to talk about operations management, my experience in operations management. Again, operations management is something that just happens in an organization, at least in my experience. Sometimes organizations don't really realize or recognize operations management. And then there's organizations like the one I'm currently working with that I'm the operations lead. So it definitely gives recognition and it appreciates the things that operations management does for the organization to make them competitive and to continue operations as they know it. So my personal experience started back when I was in the military. I'm a retired U.S. Army, 20 years. And during that time frame, I served as an operations supervisor. It was a operations non-commissioned officer in charge of a team of 5 people that did a variety of things in operations. We broke it down into smaller sections. We had training that handled the schooling. So that'd be in civilian counterpart. It'd be like obviously the continued growth and continuous process improvement for the employees to make sure that they continue to challenge themselves and better themselves. So that was the training. And then we had security. Obviously, in the military, security is important. And same way with organizations, security, especially nowadays with all the cyber attacks. A lot of you are going to are maybe interested in that as a career. Uh, so security, and then operations itself, dealing with the moving pieces of an organization, working closely with human resources, logistics, and the other sections of an organization. And then, of course, working with the overall CEO in the military, that'd be your commander of the organization that I was involved in, working closely with them, doing annual or biannual strategic meetings, working on what's the strategy of the organization, and then having each one of the departments present their strategy and their goals that supports the organization's strategies and goals in order to, and you'll learn that in this course. So that's just the experience I have on the military side of the house. During my military service, I went to school for operations, not knowing that really at the time. It was a battle staff. Obviously, the name doesn't associate with operations management, but it was all in support of strategy and doing the SMART goals and all those things in support of operations management. As far as my civilian experience, since I retired from the military, I work closely with the government still as a civilian employee. And what I did through various positions was I was a clinical systems analyst where I actually did business process reengineering. And that applied a lot of different methodologies. I learned the project management methodology of doing projects associated to business process reengineering. I learned how to go into a clinic or a actual department and look at the current state and measure it towards the future state of where they wanted to go, or where we suggested that they improve their processes. Obviously, dealing with processes, we applied a methodology, Lean Six Sigma. We had applied many just do it Another one was that we did was dealing with program management, also as a clinical workflow analyst. I was introduced to being a program management, in which I actually established a project as a project manager. And once it was implemented across the organization, it turned into a program in which it became the part of the culture of the organization, where it was going to be required for all new employees to come in to learn how to do this process. And so it turned into a program where it's part of the culture now. It doesn't have an end date like a project that might, has a start and an end date. So became a program manager and saw how that impacted operations management and worked closely with that. And then, of course, I was part of the team to facilitate the organization's strategic planning, where we would go offsite and we would bring all the leads from all the departments that would come in, very similar to what we did in the military, where they would come in with their own strategy plan and their goals. And then we would come up and brainstorm some projects for those individual departments that would support, obviously, the organization to have its overall strategic plan and their goals also a much higher level. So again, that's all dealing with operations management, and my experience is associated to that. And then one additional certification that I acquired as a civilian was change management, which obviously that impacts project management, program management, operations management, is how to deal with that as a from an organizational perspective. We learned how to do change management. So those are just some of my personal experiences, and then obviously my degrees and my education has continued to groom me for becoming a better operation manager. Uh, but here's my theory: is that I believe everyone has operation management experience, just like project management experience. A lot of people realize or think that they don't ever, they've never been exposed to, or if they don't have the experience. Now, as far as the formal process and the certifications associated to those, whether it be operations management, program management, project management, or any other certification, that may not be the case. You don't have that qualification. But my theory is everybody has operation management experience. And why I say that is because you have your own personal, internal, you're your own operation manager. So you have your own strategy plan for your life. You have your own goals, short term, long term goals. And then you're going to manage those things. You're going to come up with the finances, the people to support those types of strategies and those goals. So I believe as you read and you start learning during the semester, you'll see how it applies to your real life too. So, yes, you're learning how and you're growing your knowledge in operation management to help an organization and to make you much more marketable and build up your resume. Yes, you are doing that. But as you're learning and reading, kind of reflect. And that's what I've been doing since I've been reading the material of this course. Just been kind of reflecting on, hey, this can be applied to my own life too. And it's kind of fun when you actually learn that way. And then you can kind of value from it outside if you go into an organization and pursue a further career in operations management or not. It's just something that you can apply to your own life. And then you can talk to your family about it, get them involved, and maybe learn some things. These tools and techniques that you might learn during the class might help you in your personal life. So those are just some things that I wanted to share with you in this introductory. And again, just put a face with a name. I think that's a good way to start out. I wish I could get a video from everybody and put a face with a name with you. I know that's going to take a lot of time, and I'm not asking of that, but it's just something that I like to do. It's my personal touch to you, uh, and and here we go. Let's have fun and enjoy, and we can learn from each other. Uh, so everybody has knowledge, and share those things during your discussions and your assignments. And I really look forward to seeing your future work, and have a nice day.